I actually found my girlfriend on Hinge.
Funny story, actually. I've been banned off a few of the dating apps a couple of times. If you're hot, yes. If you're not, see you later.
I think girls are even more cutthroat. If a girl thinks you're attractive and they don't like your voice, you're done.
What if their profile shows you certain things, but you see them in real life and they're completely different?
It was actually a guy posing as a really attractive girl.
What girls should be looking for in
Girls,
guys?
take note. How to pick up Jamie Zoom.
If she doesn't look like her photos, run.
All right, welcome back to the locker room. We got another topic in the house, and I'm excited for this
Topic
one.
in the house.
This is actually relates to all of us. We've all got interesting experiences with dating apps.
I've never had
More
experience
for
in
some
my
than
life.
others.
Yeah, more so for
I don't even know what a dating app
certain
is.
people. Some have had more success than others.
Success?
Sex.
Success?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Is that related to
Can
the
you
topic?
describe what that means as a definition?
It's like an intersection between being
success. Right.
Success.
Sounds a bit sus to me.
Anyway, so
Anyway.
what is the topic? Can you say the topic?
Just say it.
Dating apps.
Dating
Oh,
apps.
we're talking about dating apps
So we're
today,
going to
guys.
break down the highs, the lows. Why are people struggling with dating apps? Are they good?
Are
they
people struggling? Is this a
Phenomenon?
Is this the answer for today's generation, or is this something that has ruined dating?
Good question.
Potentially.
And these questions we'll be trying to answer for you guys today. So,
It's tough,
Is it?
but
tough?
it's also amazing.
So let's talk about.
Let's break it
okay.
down.
let's share some personal wisdom. So, Bayley, you seem to be quite, excited about this topic for some reason.
Before we go on, so
Yeah, sure. Just
like
cut me off.
obviously most of us know selection, I guess, of dating apps. We've got our Hinge, Bumble, Tinder.
eHarmony.
Jamie has
eHarmony
a
for
few
Jamie.
Asian ones that he knows about.
I used to promote one actually,
I
didn't
remember.
I? East to meet East, that's right.
Yeah, so that's more of a
That's
niche. If
Might
that's
download
what you're
that, actually.
into. But yeah, apparently we were looking up the statistics. There's like over 1,000 dating
Dating
apps
apps.
currently,
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
which is crazy.
It just showcases the fact that like people are becoming very reliant upon technology rather than like actual meaningful interactions in
Yeah.
day to day,
And
time
it
frames.
could be due to convenience. It could be due to, I guess, people don't like to get out. People don't like to leave the house. People don't know where they're going to meet girls or guys.
100%.
Where do you meet girls or guys these days? You know,
very hard.
we're at an age now that, obviously I've got a girlfriend, but even if, we were single, we don't really go out clubbing anymore. We're past that stage,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Maybe when we were younger, that was a good opportunity to meet girls. But even then, is that the kind of quality of girls that we were potentially wanting to marry?
Yeah,
You know?
we were talking about this before, and I think this is a common thought of like in all my friendship circles. Once you get like a bit older, if you're locked in on, if you have a business or you're working a full-time corporate role and you're locked into training, like doing everything that a high-value man should be pursuing, you do not have time to be going out, going to the clubs, trying to pick up girls on the street. It's just an afterthought.
Yeah.
So the way that today's world works, I don't know, it's like very difficult unless you're meeting through friends of friends. And everyone that I've spoken to that it gets onto the dating apps is like, it's just a time optimization thing. You're not going out trying to pick someone up off the street because the chances are it's not going to work.
The only thing I'll oppose you on is I know like some of my friends who do work in corporate, within their business, they would go for, say, drinks. A Friday, it's a very well-known thing in Sydney and Australia, I'm guessing in general.
Yeah.
That like a Friday afternoon, they go to, if they work in the city, for example, they go for drinks. So I guess that environment is maybe an opportunity to meet other people. I'm not saying just, picking up girls in a club, but at a bar with other corporate people. So they're business orientated, they're driven, and there could be a decent selection. I think that's maybe the only
There's small
avenues for
circles
young-
though, right? Like it's not
Yeah.
like what it used to be where you could go out and everyone was out partying. Like there's very small segments of people that do that. And if you are doing that, chances are they're working in your company or your
You don't wanna
industry.
shit
And
where
you do
you
not
eat.
want to do that.
You don't want to
Yeah.
shit where
You
you
don't
eat.
want to do
Even like going up to some of the gyms, even risky in my eyes. It's
Yeah.
like, as you just said, you don't want to try and pursue someone in a place that you're going to be at like for a long time.
100%.
But at the end of the day as well, like what if you do see someone that you really like at the gym or in the workplace? And there's always an opportunity to obviously pursue, but there also is that risk. So I guess dating apps do mitigate risk for the most part,
They
in
do.
my opinion.
just a few quick stats, I think, that makes it that we
hit us, Bayley, with some stats
that we sussed out before the episode, which we found really, really interesting. So, first one is that this is around the world. People spend an average of 10 hours per week on dating apps.
Wow.
That's a lot of scrolling and swiping.
That is.
Which creates a culture of like, I think there's positive and negatives, which we can get into.
Yeah.
And then the second stat was, this was a 2023 stat, so it's a bit old, but there are 350 million users globally of dating apps.
Wow. I think TikTok's got 1 billion
350 million users.
Wow.
On dating apps.
Worldwide.
Wow. That's a lot.
So it's a part of our culture now. This is the way the world works. So.
Do you guys remember when like they first came out? No. I think like the MSN days, the MySpace days. There wasn't anything called the dating app back then. I think Tinder was the first one. Back when we were like in high school or something, right? I think it was maybe like around 2010, 2012 when Instagram came out.
How many matches did you get?
Yeah, you seem to know it quite well.
Nah, like I used to be on Tinder back in the day, 100%.
Bro, imagine how much damage this guy did on Tinder
back in the day. Did you use a fake profile or was it you?
Nah, funny story actually. I've been banned off a few of the dating apps a couple of times.
I was getting too many matches.
No. Too many matches?
No. So like the app, so people kept reporting me for thinking that was a fake account.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that was a great story.
I had a bit of an experience with that as well. I didn't get banned
because you're just so hot.
No, well, when I was,
bro, you got too many matches.
When I was stealing
single,
when I was single back in the day,
opportunity for the other guys.
I used to match with females and
females only,
females only, and a lot of them would say like, oh, like I don't know if you're real. I don't want to talk to you. Like you seem like a fake profile. Because everyone puts their best photos, right? You put up your best photos.
Bro, that's the struggle of being the most jacked, handsome, shredded dude in
Sydney.
Yeah. Just it must be tough. It must be.
Yeah, I always feel sorry for this guy because it must be tough being so good looking.
I actually feel really sorry for you.
It was good edited photos.
Like he tries to look ugly half the time. He's like, oh, how about this? I'm like, nah, bro, you still look like a 9.7. It must be tough for you.
But I guess that kind of like dives into like what your intentions are with dating apps. Do you take them seriously? Are you just trying to look for a hookup? Are you looking for a meaningful relationship? Because when I was single and I used to use dating apps, for me, I didn't take them seriously. Genuinely, I didn't take them seriously.
Yeah.
I would go on, honestly, for a confidence boost.
Bro, I think there's so many people who do that.
If I was
I've got so many mates who do the same thing.
If I was upset one day.
You can also shatter your confidence though.
Well,
if you're not looking like Chris.
if you're
anyone but Chris, you could.
Say you're having a bad day, you're feeling shit, you're feeling ugly or something, you go on a dating app and you get a range of people telling you how great you are in one way or another.
If you're Chris.
And that feels good. That feels good. So for me, that was really what I guess I got out of it. But obviously, everyone's different. I know you guys have had some experience on dating apps as well. I guess we can dive into maybe what Bayley.
I reckon Bayley. We start with Bayley.
Bailey's had some positive
experience
on dating apps.
Yeah, very positive.
And guys, before we continue, we want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Getaways.
The boys and I are blessed to be partnering up with Getaways, who have some of the most amazing short-term accommodation in the country.
Whatever the occasion, whether it's a cheeky boys trip away or you want to surprise your partner with a holiday, Getaways has got you covered.
And guys, go ahead and check out Getaways on their website or on their social media platforms. We'll be leaving the link in the description below. And without further ado, let's jump straight back into the episode.
I actually found my girlfriend on Hinge.
Oh!
Wow. And just to preface, Hinge isn't even sponsoring this video, which they should be.
Yes, they
should. But yeah,
Success
so
story.
I actually, as we were saying at the start of the episode, I was thinking about this. I was like, as we all are in this episode, on this podcast, and everyone listening usually, like we're very locked in. I was like, there's no way I'm going to meet someone. I don't have the time. I don't even want to think about it.
What about church?
Church, yes, but not in my church.
Why? What's wrong with your church?
Just it's the same as the same as work.
He's
I think
too close with the people.
Close to home.
They're all legends, and he just wants to be friends.
Yeah, it's like
with them, right?
family. And so, like, if you're spending all your time working a job, trying to build a business, and you're training like almost every day, plus you have time for the boys, family, things like that, and you're not going out parties, you're not meeting too many people through your friends' circles.
It is hard.
So I honestly, to be fair, I actually got on it as a bit of a piss take, same as you, Chris. Just so I was like, I was always so against dating apps. I was like, I'm never getting on that.
That's what they all say.
That's
I'm not here.
what they all say.
I'm not being serious about this. I'm just on it for some
My
fun.
friend made my account.
Yeah, and they're talking to you. It wasn't even me.
Yeah.
Like,
but the thing is, right, like it kind of has that negative stigma. It's like, oh, if you're getting on dating apps, it's because you're desperate. That's the original kind of
Yeah, it
concept.
is.
And I was
That
like,
is
I
true.
don't want to associate with that. Like, that's not the
You're like,
mindset
I'm not
in.
desperate. I know I've got potential. You feel like I don't need
Yeah.
dating apps because I can meet girls.
yeah,
but
like I know I'm
you
the
just
most
don't have
jack
the
guy
time.
in Manly. You know. So,
Yeah, I just go for a surf, man. And
Go for a
chicks
surf.
just come lining up.
Yeah. Doesn't take much. Just me and my
so
body bar, dude.
It does have a negative stigma.
Yeah, but what I did find really, really valuable from it is like from the get-go, you're presented and you can filter it like with your preferences. So you can get really niche without having to go like meet up with someone, get to know them over a month. You can be super selective. So I was like, all right, I know I want Christian, and you know if you're physically attracted to them straight away, and then you can chat to them and then suss if there's a vibe. There's like 3 of your main boxes ticked within like a few minutes or even a day. So that's why I found it super helpful. And I was honestly on there for 2 days and found my girlfriend.
Wow.
The other issue is that it is so superficial though at the same time,
that's,
right?
That's the problem.
Like think about like if someone's swiping, right? Some people don't even go into the niches. Like they won't even click on your profile to see what your favorite pastimes are, your hobbies, your business, what you work as. Like they literally see your face. And
is this a weapon or not?
Yeah, within 3 seconds, they literally have decided: is he attractive? Is she attractive? Okay, no. So that I guess is unfortunate, but that's the way the world is.
But then again, bro, like then again, it does relate to real life in some degree as well. Although there is that physicality, and that's it on Hinge or dating apps that you decide whether or not you like someone from the start. When you see someone in real life, you also have that instant impression about their looks, but then there's also something coupled with like their, as you said, like their vibe, their energy, their personality. It's like they've got a few more chances to try and showcase who they are in real life. Whereas like on dating apps, it's like, like literally one thing. Like if you're hot, yes. If you're not, see you later.
So it gets you in the door, I guess. Your appearance gets you in the door. I've seen some funny shit. Like I've seen some videos on TikTok where guys are actually quite creative. They've there's like on one of the apps, I can't remember which one, but there's like you can do a voice memo or something.
Oh,
like a voice recording.
Yeah.
And some of the guys would
like
like sing a funny song or like just say some witty like sentence of like,
but also
some comedic thing, right? And it make the girls, I guess, it will make them kind of stand out.
Yeah.
But also to your point, like the voice is a big thing as well.
Yeah.
Like you can like someone's appearance, everything about them, but then if they've got some weird voice, you might get put off them.
Pops.
Yeah, like in your case. Like there's so much more than just the looks. I get, there's pros and cons to both.
But do you think that any of those other aspects can sway whether they're physically attractive or not? I don't think that makes a difference. I think they either like the way you look or they don't.
100%.
Maybe girls, maybe females are a bit more like
girls
open, a bit more like, okay, I want to suss their vibe.
Nah,
are they crazy?
I think girls are even more.
But girls aren't.
Really?
Like if I'm saying if a girl thinks you're attractive, and then say here's your voice, and they don't like your voice, you're done. No, literally, they're.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Girls are more emotional creatures.
To icks, bro.
Yeah.
Girls ick so quick.
Yeah, but like girls are. It depends on what girl it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Like girls
agree.
are more emotional creatures. So for example, for me and Bayley, and obviously you, Chris, as well, but for me and Bayley, especially now, before you were single and as I'm still single, we definitely look for, like, for me, the first thing is, I'm sure you agree, is like them having a relationship with God. So that is the first thing that we look for. Of course, looks is a thing. But what I am saying on the flip side, if a girl that wants the same in a partner as in a guy, meets a guy that has those qualities of like a godly man, for example, the voice thing can probably slide.
Sure.
It's probably secondary to their values and what they're looking for.
Sure.
So
Depends
I think
on
that
the girl.
depends on the girl. Yeah, I think the girls at church, that's fine with them. But yeah, of course, more worldly girls, they would care about the voice and see that as an ick.
So like, if we were to give the boys at home, like, I guess a successful way to move forward with dating apps,
Ask this guy.
what would he say? So like, for example, are we saying like, obviously, if you're a God-fearing man, have something in there that's to do with your faith.
What was your
I'll
profile
tell you
like?
what-
Why don't we pop his profile on screen?
I don't have it anymore.
What about like
I
a
didn't
photo with
screenshot
a
it
dog? Because girls like animals, for example, or family. You know.
So what I like my thought process, well, not thought process, but I think that worked really well for me. Strategy, was like you have to think about.
I'm on this app for 48 hours only.
Honestly, it is a marketing play. So I figured out like
That's fair.
who is the girl that like the kind of girl that I'm after, and what would they be attracted to?
What was your first tagline?
Oh, I can't remember, bro. But I didn't even have Christian.
So you
in there.
reverse engineered it.
So
Wow, this
basically,
guy.
because if you think about it, girls are also swiping through hundreds of profiles.
100%.
So you have to think about what niche category you're in that the girl you're looking for would be gravitated towards that will make
smart.
you put
What's
you
the
in a
hook?
separate box.
What's the hook?
It's literally marketing
That's smart.
psychology.
What's the hook?
Because if you think about it, right, you got to separate yourself. You have to have an interesting characteristic that either you got to be polarizing, right? So either girls really like you or they're like, nah, he's not for me. So
No in between.
that's why I think, because if you're just kind of like that standard guy, there's a photo of me with my mates, or here's one with my dog, and I'm just not having that much personality. It's like, yeah, okay.
So that doesn't work, you reckon?
I think you
the
have
photo
to be
with the family
polarizing.
and the dog.
So I was like,
Surfing while with your child on the
Yeah.
on the surfboard
With a
Jim-
Bible.
and a laptop.
I had Jim in there. I did have my mates in there. I put
Cash, like
On the
money.
phone with,
$100,
with
yeah.
a stack of racks.
I do think you have to be polarizing. Like you have to attract like either you're like a run club type, or either you're like a gaming type, or you're like a Christian wholesome.
I
what
agree
was
with that.
yours?
I agree
give
with
me
that.
give me like from what you
From your
remember.
memory.
What was your like
Since you can't remember.
your best 3 photos?
What was your
There was
first photo?
definitely one.
Were you topless?
Yeah. One.
Can I? Where was it?
no boy.
You were shirtless in the first one?
Yeah, and I asked
The
my
first
girlfriend
one?
about this. She's like, "Yeah, that's a red flag." But I was like, "Girls like a little bit of a red flag, but you're actually."
Was that the
wholesome."
first photo?
No. It was
Nah,
like
you
bottom,
can't put that
bottom.
as that's
It
a
was towards the
surprise.
bottom.
Like, oh, he's cute, family.
yeah,
God,
yeah.
ooh.
What was your first photo?
The first
Is it on
photo.
your Instagram?
I can't remember.
Was him on the
Oh, bro,
laptop?
he's full of it,
Him-
bro.
Him on the laptop.
Yeah.
Bro, I was on there for 2 days.
It was so strategic. He had everything in the background.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Okay, but you reckon? So
Yeah,
for
I
the
reckon
boys at home,
for the boys, I reckon my advice is be polarizing. Attract a certain type of girl that you want to attract. Fall into a niche category. Don't just blend in with the thousands of fish in the sea. Go for a certain subtype, and they'll either love you or hate you.
I agree.
Yeah.
so what is, in your opinion, guys? What is the current obsession and the rise in dating apps? So, like for me, I think from speaking to some people, like I was speaking to a guy who I remember vividly speaking to 2 people. Right, one was a young man who was single and it was about in his 30s, and another who was a divorcee man who was about 45, and both of them had a similar story. As back to what you said with the point of like you're at a certain place in life where you've got some success, you're busy with your life, your work, your family, and your health, and you're not someone who's gonna go clubbing. The guy literally said to me, he's like, where do I meet women?
Yeah.
He goes, I'm not going to be a creep and walk up to girls on the street. He goes, I'm not going to go up to them in a restaurant or at the gym. He goes, I actually am looking for a proper girl that I can, build a future with again, but I don't know where.
And he was set up, right?
He was
he's
set
got
up.
money, he's got a career,
but he said
stable,
to me,
good guy.
good looking guy as well. He goes, I simply don't know where. So he goes, I unfortunately had to go to dating apps. And he goes, I'm not looking for hookups.
Yeah.
He goes, I want a meaningful relationship. So he goes, unfortunately, this is the reality of it. He goes, I don't have social media. I don't have Instagram. I have to use dating apps. And I think he was finding success when I last spoke to him. I don't know where he is now, but unfortunately, reality is that it is quite limited when you're at a certain point in your life.
100%.
I think if you look at the world as well, like everything is becoming more digital. So the fact that all these mainstream things that we used to have to do in real life is, translating into online. For example, now you don't even need a wallet anymore. I don't even bring my wallet anywhere.
Yeah, literally.
I just have my ID on my phone and everything, like all my cards there as
Cash
well.
is
So it's
king.
like, yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
But my point is everything's moving to the digital space, so why not the dating field as well?
Yeah.
Of course there are pros and cons. Like
Give us your
I was-
rundown, Jamie. You've had a bit of a
Yeah, so
of an
and
attempt.
as quick as you can, give us the differences between how you used to use dating apps and how you use them now, and your success, I guess. Or
all right, I mean, so before like back in the day, I used to use dating apps for the same reasons as Chris did, just to have a bit of fun, bit of confidence boost, and like
Bro, you
nothing
would have
serious.
carved up. Oh my gosh.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice of you to say. But very very superficial, you could say.
Yeah.
So I was on there for fun. But when I became more serious in my life over the last couple of years, where I've actually been looking for a more serious, long-term relationship, funnily enough, Bailey's story sort of relates to my experience as well, where it was actually you that told me that you jumped on a dating app, which was about 6 to 12 months ago now. And I remember you and I in the car park,
bro. Until Bailey kind of showed his success,
I was against it too.
bro. You were
Yeah.
so like we were trying to convince you, like Bailey found success. You're like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. And
Yeah, I think in my case it was a bit awkward as well because, as I said, in my previous experience of being on dating apps, I was reported for being a fake, and I used to get a lot of people being like, "Oh, I know this isn't you, so like they don't take me seriously." And I guess like as well from my previous life, a lot of people were like, "Oh, how come you need dating apps?" It was a bit of an ego thing, honestly.
100%.
So you and I spoke in the car. You said, "Hey." Like I remember where we were as well outside the boxing gym, Muay Thai gym. Yeah. Bro, I've been on this, app and I've actually found a really nice girl. And I'm like, cool, like I was excited for you. And then you go, oh, you should jump on as well. I was like, no. Then at church next week, my other mate found a girl, a good Christian girl.
It's a sign.
On a dating app as well. So I'm like, all right, you know what? Like, let me consider. I was pondering for a few weeks and I finally decided to download the same one as you. 2 months ago now. My experience recently has been that, as you just said, Bailey, I completely agree with you. I think you need to be very, very niche and specific about what sort of girl you want. So for me, my first line was like, what was it like? We'll get along if...
Should we get your profile up now, eh?
And then I put like, if you love Jesus. That's what I put. Okay, if you say you love God, that can cater to, maybe other religions. But for me, like, I'm a Christian. So I wanted to make sure that this was the first
very specific certain type of girl that's going to see that and go, yes.
Do you think, before you keep going, do you think girls will change their profile to suit yours? Ooh. Like, so for example, I know like if a girl saw that Jamie is good looking and he's very adamant that she has to be Christian, she'll add Christian in her profile and potentially even pretend to be Christian, maybe. She's like kind of a Christian and she just goes hard on it. I
don't know.
They probably do that.
I can't say yes or no.
From you, Jamie, I'd love to hear for the girls, what can the girls do to like have better success? Because I do find that like it's very, girls are saying like it's very hard to find a genuine guy. Like how do they sift through the guys that are just looking for a hookup and who's like a genuine nice guy, and what can they do to their profiles to like stand out and
no thought photos
attract a guy like you?
I think definitely no.
So I actually made a video about this on my second channel. Okay, about what girls do.
We watched it.
About
give us the rundown.
Okay, so what girls should be looking for in guys?
Take note. How to pick up Jamie Zoo.
All right, you guys, want to give a massive shout out to Whitey for sponsoring the locker room. If you guys ever need to be looking fresh for an event or a formal anywhere in the world, these guys definitely have the hookup. They also have personalized tailors that can fit your suit, custom made for your individual body type, so there's no need to even think about styling yourself in the future. And if you guys want to be looking as fresh as we do out here right now, make sure to go to the link in the description where you can find all the details on how to see how YD can help you change your look for the better. Let's go. Okay, so I'm no expert in this field, by the way, but just from my observation, obviously, generically speaking, I think that she should be specific about what her intentions are. So, for example, like, as you just said, Bailey, the first bit of your profile should be like the non-negotiables, in my opinion. Because what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're getting rid of the ones that just literally have no potential at all. If you have a non-negotiable, which is, let's say, like they have to be a certain religion or have a certain, like, no sex before marriage, as an example, you want to give that away straight away so that you're not wasting your own time.
Yep. What about height?
Height, I think, if a girl wants a tall guy, they should be specific about that as well. I think, as 100%. You said, the more specific you are, you're going to filter out the bad worms.
You don't waste time.
You're not wasting time.
Yeah, agreed.
So that's what I would say in terms of their profile. Be ultra specific and don't be apologetic about it as well. However, don't write it in like a feminist way where it's like,
I want
must be this, I'm this. Like, be like,
you won't get anyone.
Don't do that. Be soft about it. Be like, upfront about it, but be like gentle about it.
Yeah,
right?
Agree.
The thing that I wanted to mention before is that what I find a lot is where this is sort of like catering to Christian girls, but also maybe other girls as well. But what I find, I actually made a video about this on my second channel on TikTok, which is Christian girls out there sometimes, they don't put enough effort into their profiles in the nicest way possible.
So they don't attempt to look good.
Yes, correct. So that's one thing. The second thing is,
I'll actually agree with that, because the reality is, as we said before, you're being judged on your looks. So
unfortunately, you are, yes.
You have to put some effort in.
Yeah.
So you're competing against girls who are really trying.
I see a lot of Christian girls on the apps. They don't put any effort into their appearance. And if you're on an app, that is what you're going to get judged for.
The way I look at it, like, if you're putting up 5 to 6 photos, and in those photos that you've selected that are supposed to be the best photos of you, and you don't look good in those,
Yeah.
as bad as it sounds to be superficial,
You might have a great heart, you might be a great person, but
like,
you're not going to filter through to the
It's
right
not gonna
people.
come across
if you
in
can't
the
even
app.
look find like a few good photos that you look good in or have tried,
Yeah.
they're not going to want to meet you because your photos, which should be better, aren't even good.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's
the
reality,
reality,
unfortunately.
bro. It's genuinely, and I've seen it
yeah.
like time and time again. And I'm sure these girls are amazing people, but like for me personally, and for let's just be honest, like the majority of guys, they're not going to get very far. On topic, but slightly off. What I also see a lot is Christian girls, like this happens to me a lot of the time, will message me on Instagram. And they might be like a really nice girl, you know, super nice personality, you know, saying, hey, I'd really like to get to know you, or like, I love your testimony, all these things, great. But their profiles are on private.
Yeah, you can't see anything.
So it's like, okay, I'm not going to obviously reply to this person because I don't know who you are, firstly. Off topic of dating apps, but Instagram is also being used as a dating app of some sort as well.
I don't mind that. I don't mind the privateness because unfortunately you can't stalk them, so you have to follow them. But it shows that they're quite a private person and they're not looking for, you know, male validation or as much because they don't care about the followers or likes. So
correct, but
I can see that angle.
It is
too.
a
I get
barrier,
it, but it's like what
it is a
Bailey
barrier.
said. You've got to
You're not gonna follow
somehow.
random.
I'm not. Yeah, you're not
True.
going to follow random.
True.
They could be a fake account. You're not
True.
going to reply and invest your time into all these things. So it's like
That's a risk.
The reality of social media dating, whatever platform you are on, is that it is a game where you have to play by the rules. You can't get around it. Yeah. And if you're going to be wanting to find someone online, unfortunately, you do have to show who you are, and you're going to have to, you know, cater to some of the intricacies online as well.
So what are some of the downfalls, I guess, of dating apps? I know one top of my head, catfishing.
Oh,
right?
yes.
We all
That's
know
a
what
big one.
catfishing is. So just for the boys and girls who are watching, someone who has a great profile, looks like a certain way, you meet them and they're completely different to what the photo
This
is.
has happened to my mates.
So so unfortunately that is a reality. A lot of people these days with editing apps and whatnot, you know, I've heard stories where it was actually a guy posing as a really attractive girl.
Yeah.
So I think catfishing is a bad one, a really big one. So like, you know, how would you work around that? Do you meet them and then hide in the bushes and make sure that it's the right person?
what did you do? How did you know your girl wasn't a catfish?
I think like if you're just starting on the dating app, then move it over to Instagram or like some sort of way you can get a photo of them like in real life, like through text or something like that. You can do a call just to validate it a bit. I think you kind of know. I think the people that get caught up by catfishes are the ones that are a bit emotionally vulnerable and they're so I don't want to say desperate, but they want to make it work so badly that they believe their own illusions.
True.
Like you kind of can tell if it's not adding up. If you can get a photo of them like live or like you can do a phone call.
I think what you said, a video call after a certain amount of time, not initially, but
Or move
after
it to
after a
Instagram,
certain
you can
amount of
validate
time, a video call is actually, it could be daunting and scary, but I think it's a really good growth aspect of your potential relationship.
a voice note or or get their Instagram, then you can validate it straight away.
Yeah. Any others, guys? Any other negatives you've seen?
I just think that like the reason I was so put off by them until I met Bailey. Oh, sorry, I met you
Until you met
ages ago. But
Until he told you.
Bailey,
Until we met on
until Bailey had some success, is that for me personally, it's like, it goes back to what you said, Chris. There's so much more than the appearance. It's like, for me, I find it like a bit daunting because I don't want to invest my time in someone where I don't know what they're like in person. If I speak to them for 4 weeks, I meet up with them and then I don't like them. For me personally, that's a bit daunting because, as you said, I'm a busy guy. I don't want to waste my time. Not that it's wasting time, but I'm saying just the possibility of it not working out. For example, as you said, as bad as it sounds, what if their profile shows you certain things, but you see them in real life and they're completely different?
But
That's what scares me personally.
risk
But you
take.
can, but it's the same as dating in like off apps. If you know meet a girl, like you still don't know her, you meet her again, she could be completely different. You can just cross ties like a gentleman, say it was very nice to meet you. It's not going to work.
I think
yes, you've spent a little bit of time, but I guess you've got to risk something. You can't just,
It's always a risk,
you can't just wait in your room and you know wait for the perfect girl to just match with you and she's the perfect girl. Like it's very unlikely and you won't know.
That happened
If
to
you
me.
always it's
It's rare.
rare, but you would not have known unless you met her properly and got to know her.
Yeah, 100%.
You could have on your first date gone, this is not who I thought he was. 100%. She's lovely, but she's not for me.
Yeah.
And you're early on in the relationship that you can cut ties without any, bad blood.
Yeah.
So I think that's something you have
Dating's
to look at.
Any date's a risk.
I think you have to risk calculated risks. I'm not saying just go on every single match you have, but I think once, similar to what Bayley said, after a bit of growth, maybe moving to Instagram, you've seen like they've got, years worth of profile
you're
of
physically attracted.
Yeah.
You've morally checked them off.
then you can go, all right, I'm happy to meet. But I think you can't also stay like kind of closed up and this one maybe is going to be
meet
this.
them unless they're wifey.
Yeah. You won't know.
All right, boys. What are 3 things that people can implement today to be successful on a dating app?
Good question.
So I actually found my girlfriend within 2 days on being on a dating app.
Wow.
And what I did was this. I was super polarizing. So I thought, what is my dream girl and what is she looking for? And I actually made my profile super polarizing. So either girls loved me or hated me.
What I would say is your first pickup line or opening line is very important because it sets the tone of the entire interaction. For example, I like to go with something a bit more, wholesome and innocent because I'm looking for a more serious relationship, which is like trying to guess your nationality, for example. So something that would dictate the tone is really important.
W-Riz.
All right. So if you want to steal Jamie's pickup line, there it is.
All right, boys.
Everyone's going to be saying that.
If you want to avoid getting catfished, here's a tip. Organize your date for a certain time and get there half an hour before. If she doesn't look like her photos, run.
That's gold.
I guess.
I think that was good. That was
I guess there's some tips for you guys. There's our experience. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something. And if you guys have any interesting, funny experiences with dating apps, we'd love to hear them. Message us, comment on this video. We love seeing you guys interact. And as always, you know where to find us, Locker Room Chat Podcast on all socials. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
See you guys.
Let's go.
Bye-bye.